Welcome back for another episode of Juice and the Sauce. As always, you're joined by your two hosts, myself, Lasimba, and Nastassja.
Hi.
What's happening? How have you been?
I've been good. It's been been a good weekend. I feel really refreshed and ready for the new week ahead. By the time people hear this, it'll be midweek. So yeah, no, but I feel good. I'm excited. I don't know why I'm excited for this week, but I'm always excited for the week.
So for our YouTubers, the ones that get to see this on YouTube, you might notice a slightly different setting. I'm actually really excited because we're in a studio. We're in a podcast studio today. I
swear, if you ever see Lasimba's face, it's just like he's been given like £1 million in his pocket. Like he really the studio's honestly, it's lovely. What's not lovely is the journey getting here. That was mad distressing. We're in Hanger Lane, and if I'm being honest, it's these parts of the world. This is the ends of ends. It's the edge of the world. That's where it is. It's just people who live around here. If you don't have a car around here, it's just not life. This is not pedestrian friendly.
So I can't lie, I actually enjoyed the fact that this time I only had to leave 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, listen, he lives nearby and he lives on the edge of the world.
So yeah, I was enjoying that. But outside of that, yeah, this is kind of a place you need a car to come down here. Yeah. So we actually got headphones on this week as well. So we're doing the whole radio thing.
Yeah, it feels good though. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds nice to hear my voice. Usually I'm I don't like the sound of my own voice, but it actually sounds really good. How was your week, Lasimba? Actually, we started off the past week. We went to Trap Kitchen. I'm still thinking about the chips that never got into my plate. I'm actually still thinking about the chips that went on my plate. I know that it honestly sounds so lame, but in our last episode, you will see what we gave it for a review. And if you haven't watched that episode, then spoiler alert, I gave it a 7.5. Listen, I gave it a 7.
Your memory, did you watch it again?
No, I just know that.
Your memory,
So don't you remember that?
No, I remember, but I know I remember because I watched it and I had to edit it and went over it again. But it's just the way you remember such details is just
Okay, so this is the thing about my memory. I remember really, really deep, intense detail. Ask me what I did 5 minutes ago. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
So it's I will grasp in all of the small details, but things that I do 5-10 minutes, that I couldn't tell you why. I will walk into a room and go, why did I come into this room? But ask me what happened on this day that I can tell you.
Have you been like that from day?
As long as I could remember.
Okay.
It's just really weird how I forget things that's in front of me, but something so detailed I can remember.
One day I want to play that card game. You know the card game when you have to match pairs? What's it called? Is it called Pairs?
Yeah, I'm crap at that game.
I don't believe that at all.
You know why I'm crap at that game?
Why?
Because it's happening right there and then. You haven't given me time to soak it in. I would have to play that game now, and then we can. Then 2 days time, I can tell you each of the cards.
Okay, fair enough. Off topic, have you watched Picard yet?
No.
Why?
Because I'm reserving it for a time. Okay, you guys don't know, I'm a true Trekkie. I'm not, I wouldn't say, actually, let me take that back because people would be like, yeah, but you didn't like William Shatner though. I wasn't a Shatner. I was a Picard fan. So Star Trek, when it had Picard, Data, I forgot some of the characters as well. The black guy with the glasses.
Why have I forgotten his name?
I
know you're talking about. But
the Klingons. Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, all of that good stuff. I loved that. So on Amazon, the new series of Star Trek has come, and it's the Picard era. Picard has returned, and Lasimba asked me last week, if I've watched it, and I'm like, no. He's like, and he's asking me now, and it's because I really want to give my concentration to it, because when I'm watching things, I watch a lot of stuff when I'm baking. Like I saw people last night, people were tweeting on Twitter and on Instagram, people were talking about The Stranger.
Okay.
And they were talking about Lock and Key. Let me tell you, I watched those things 2 weeks ago. Done. Did them in a day. Like Lock and Key took me 2 days. The Stranger was 1 day. People were like, oh my gosh, The Stranger was amazing. But I was like, oh, it's all right.
Okay. It's in a new series or something.
It's a new series. Stranger is good. Don't get me wrong. Stranger is good. But I think there's another British one that's on there that I feel is even better. I think the thing about sorry, spoiler alert. I'm not gonna say what the plot twist is in Stranger, but there are many plot twists in Stranger, and it was for something of British TV. It was really, really good.
Okay.
There was some of the acting I was just like, really? But then I just remembered that, like, Nastassja, could you do any better? So shut up, innit? Just watch the film and shut up. But Stranger is good. If anybody wants to tune in, tune in on Netflix. I could give you a summary of stuff that I like on Netflix anyway.
What are you a fan of?
So recently, like I said, Lock and Key was really, really good. I think personally, with Lock and Key, the storyline could have been tighter. There's stuff that they longed out, like, which was unnecessary, and they could have just got to it. And it was just the story. It's like the action for Lock and Key happens in the last two episodes, and all of like the real juicy parts happen in the last 2 episodes, where I feel like it was a shame that they couldn't have put more content of the stories in the first couple of the first 8 episodes.
So it felt a bit like filler.
Yeah, it was just like it kept you intrigued because you really, really wanted to know the secrets behind it. I got a bit bored of it by about like episode 6, I think. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, just tell us what it is. Like, this is just ridiculous. And I actually went online, and online said, Rotten Tomatoes said exactly what I said. Okay. That it could have been tighter because it comes from a comic. It was adapted from a comic or something like that. And they said in terms of the book, it could have been a little bit tighter, and there's so many things in the comic that they didn't add, which would have made it a bit spicier. So, but it's good. I think it's a great take on children's fantasy, kind of superhero borderline stuff. That's really cool. There was this one. What did I watch? The Prodigy. Okay. Oh, that was fucking scary. That one.
Is it a horror?
It's a horror thriller. I wouldn't put it into a deep horror. It's not like a Stephen King. Okay. But it's a good kind of like, at the end, I'm not going to lie. I watched this at like 12 o'clock at night. I couldn't finish because I was scary. It's very mind boggling. It's very, what can I say? What's that other, that it's like, I wouldn't say, it's not a Stigmata film. Have you seen Stigmata?
No.
Stigmata, let me tell you, Stigmata is a different kind of flex, but it touches kind of like that kind of realm, but not too deep. So it's a nice kind of thriller, it's psychological thriller horror kind of thing. But The Prodigy is fantastic. If anybody watches, don't watch it at 12 midnight. Like me, like a dickhead, I'm just like, yeah, let's watch a horror movie. That's really good. Another great mind-bending one on Netflix is The Invitation. Now, once you watch The Invitation, I hooked up. Like, I showed Nadu that film, and she'd been telling everybody about that film. I think me and her watched that. We've watched it separately. We've watched it together. We've watched it separately again. The Invitation is like, man. The Invitation is one of those films that you watch it properly, because there are key things that happen in there, and you have to it's a slow burner, but let me tell you, when you get to the end and you see the plot twist, you'll be like, oh my god. Like, yeah, Invitation is good. There's another one similar to The Invitation that I can't remember if I showed Nadu this one or she showed me. There's another one, it will come to me.
Okay.
What else is good? Series wise, I mean, if you're into Drag Race, watch RuPaul's Drag Race. It'll make you really happy. All 11 episodes, like really, really good. What else? I've just gotten to Van Helsing.
Okay, what's that?
It's Van Helsing. If you've not seen the film, it's vampire-ish one about
okay.
But they've got, I think, I don't take my word for it, but I think in the original film it was a man that played the lead role, and this one's a female. It's good. It's not the Vampire Diaries, but it's good. Vampire Diaries is good, and you have to watch the what's the one that comes after it as well. There's a Vampire Diaries, and what's it called? Not the Grimm. Not, is it Brothers Grimm? Not that one. I have to check.
Okay.
But yeah, what else have I? There's so many things.
You've been enjoying Netflix.
You know what it is like these times where I sometimes, not that music bores me sometimes, it's just like I have to find the right album and the right soundtrack, and sometimes like I don't have a TV, so Netflix and Amazon Prime are my thing, kind of thing. And you just like, it's just playing in the background, and it makes me feel like when I'm working, it makes me feel like there's humans around, because they're open conversations, and sometimes you answer the TV and you're like, what are you doing, and you know there's no one gonna answer you back, you know what I mean? Like, so those are my...
Are you that person in the cinema that be screaming at the...
Yeah, like honestly, I can't go to the cinema. Like me and my friend JB, right?
Yeah.
When we go to the cinema, right, it's like we'd be screaming at the screens, and you get people turning around and looking at us, and JB will tell them, like, face your front, watch the TV. Do I look like this? Do I look like the screen to you? Like, me and him will have deep conversations, and we'll be laughing, going, JB will always unravels the twist to the film, and he'll be like, oh, he did it because did you see that part when he just did that? And I'm just like, JB, like, honestly, we can't go to the cinema together. Like, when we go to the cinema together, it's pretty epic. So slightly I am, but when I go by myself, obviously I'm quiet.
You're quiet. Okay, cool.
Okay, my last couple of ones to watch on Netflix. Narcos. If you haven't seen the Narcos, you have to watch the Narcos, the first series, the one where where it's the Pablo Escobar era. Okay. Now I'm on to Narcos Mexico. It's just as gripping. The story obviously has graduated. Now there's drugs in America. Quavo's in this series. Quavo was up in there, like, from Migos.
Okay.
The fact that he was reciting lyrics from his song Stir Fry had me.
Wait, was this recently?
Yeah, this is Narcos Mexico season 2.
When did that drop?
I don't know. It just came up on my Netflix and said watch it.
Okay, because I think I saw some pictures of him recently or something.
Yeah, he's in it. Just going through things that I've watched. Messiah's pretty good. Messiah's a really odd one. Like, okay. Messiah's good. I haven't finished it though, because I think I need to rewatch it, because because when it's on in the background, I'm not watching the screen. I've got my earphones on. I'm just listening to it. Fall from Grace. I mean, if you want to laugh, there's pure banter in that. What Riverdale is good. Obviously, it took me a while to get into it, but Riverdale is interesting. Sabrina's Thrilling Adventures, I think it is. I don't know, chilling and thrilling, you know. It's the Chilling Adventures or Chilling Tales of Sabrina. That shit would have you ask questioning. Like, I watched first season. Remember when it came out first season? It had me questioning my faith, and I was like, Nastassja, you really reciting Hail Satan right now, because they go really deep when they're worshipping Satan. They're like, Hail Satan, and I'm just like, am I a Christian? Like, every time they said Hail Satan, I'm like, God be with me. Watching this, but it's actually really good. It's actually mad good.
Okay. Do you find like, okay, this is probably not the best time to ask the question following what you just said, but yeah. I was just about to ask you, do you find, because you watch a lot of this obviously while you're cooking and baking and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Do you find this influences your decorating and stuff?
Some of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As in, some of it has good rhythm, and I can literally work to the rhythm of the films, and it gives me momentum in that sense. It's not like inspiration. Like, okay, for example, watching something like Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, gives me inspiration for design and color and texture, because those drag queens are like hella charismatic. They are flamboyant, and they create some pretty amazing shit for their runway. So that kind of stuff gives me inspiration for work, as in when I'm designing. Like watching films just in general gives me the momentum to continue what I'm doing, because if you imagine just being in a room by yourself and just being told bake, right, and you've got nothing else like keeping you going apart from your passion, there's a time that you're just going to end up getting tired, but you're not tired because you don't want to do it. It's just tired because there's nobody going, keep going. And that's what the films are like for me. Like when I'm watching series, that's why I predominantly like watching box sets, because it's like a never ending story, and you're just like, your mind is saying, oh, you want to know what's going to happen next, so keep watching it. And whilst I'm working, I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep working so I can keep watching it, keep working. So it's like a momentum thing.
I do something similar sometimes when I'm working. I need something to just occupy my distraction brain. Yes. You know, so whether it's like a comedian or music in the background, I need something just to, it just stops me. Okay, let me check YouTube, let me check Instagram.
Exactly.
And, you know what I mean?
So this is my thing. That's what it stops me from doing. So a lot of the time, I would say 85% of the 80, I think you can attest to this for me. I don't have my phone on me. So you can send me a message and you're just like, I need an answer from Nastassja like now. It's because I don't have my phone on me, because my phone acts as a distraction. Because if I always have my phone on me, I'm always going to check Instagram. I'm going to check my messages. I'm going to do this. Whereas when I just lock away my phone, and it's a habit that I actually started like probably 2 years ago now, that just not carrying my phone with me when I'm working, because it just was a distraction and I never got anything done. And this is why I am so, I really push customers, do not send me text messages or WhatsApp, because you're looking for a constant conversation with me, whereas I've got like so much work to get through, and that conversation can last like 2 hours sometimes, because you're going back and forth. Just send me an email and I'll get back to you at either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. So usually my day starts with checking all of my emails, doing all of that correspondence. So throughout the day, if people respond to me, by the end of the night before I go to sleep, I can respond to them, or I respond to them depending on the urgency the next morning.
Makes sense. Speaking of films, just before we move on though, I recently discovered Into the Badlands. Do you know that one?
No. So is it what where's that?
That's on Amazon Prime or Video, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Really? I'm gonna start that tomorrow. Yeah.
But wait, are you into like fighting and
I
drama?
like, so my thing on Amazon Prime that I'm just finishing, well, I don't know if it's finished yet, but I think there probably is like 2 more episodes to come, is Vikings. So I like period dramas, like period dramas, because I love history. So I love knowing about period dramas. And then I like kind of, I like psychological dramas and thrillers, like stuff that you got to work out and stuff like that, messing with your mind. And then I like the just general drama stuff. So that sounds like I'd enjoy it.
If you like psychological dramas, I got a film for you. It's about these police officers.
Yeah.
And like, actually, I don't even want to say the next word before it.
What's it called?
I'm literally searching for the name now. What's that old? I can't never remember his name. While we're doing the show, I'm gonna get the name of this dude and bring it up for you. But apart from watching Netflix,
what have I been doing?
Yeah,
nothing. Just baking. You know what? Like I don't feel like people may think I lead some mad interesting life outside of baking, but I swear down, if you spend like a whole week with me, you see like my time is made up with me just doing, like my sister says, she said like, I just have like, I'm just very creative in my mind, and these things that I do, these creative thoughts that I have just literally just come out in real life. Like most of the time I'm either, if I'm not watching Netflix, I'll hang out with people. Then I don't know, I want to go to some art museums. Like this week, I haven't really done much, to be quite fair. I've been recuperating from the week before, because my weekend was like crazy. I probably made about like not even 15 cakes. I don't know. I made a lot of cakes that weekend, and it really took me out. So this weekend, I've been just trying to catch up on myself. And I created a really beautiful cake for a baby shower this past weekend, which was really cute. And my friend texted me and she said like she didn't cut the cake. Nobody got cake. So none of the people at the party got cake. Well, not got that cake. She had like loads of other cakes. She had cake pops, cupcakes and everything. So she gave people that cake, and she hasn't cut her main cake yet. And I was like, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to hear. So now I've just been like chilling, to be honest. Like I just like my mum wanted me to come round to my nan's house. So I just had to tell her I need a day to myself. And then she was just like, okay. Because she started sending me a shopping list of things that she wanted. And I was like, no, babes, we're not coming this weekend.
Sometimes you have to take time for number one.
And I was just like, yo, like I just need a day to myself, because every single day last week I was in contact with a human, and you just need a day to feel yourself, like just treat yourself good. Like today, I went to church. I cooked myself food, did a little bit of shopping, did my laundry, just small things like that. And then it's just like every time in, out, like I wanted to really say to my mum, you need to come to my house if you want to see me. Like, fam, there's Storm Dennis and you're asking me to do all of this shopping. Like, nah, fam, like relax. Relax. So in my spare time most of the time I'm just in my own world. I'm just creating something, thinking of ideas, manifesting stuff. I do want to go to some, I feel like I've missed out on going to a lot of art exhibitions as well. There were so many I wanted to go to end of last year, beginning of this year, and some of them have like finished now. So I really need to make time for that. Like maybe on a Monday. I like to go to the museums when it's not really, really busy, and that's usually on Monday. Like weekends is like, oh, you can't just get around, and I like it to be quite quiet so I can just take in my notes, draw, doodle and do stuff.
Interesting. I haven't been to an arts exhibition since college.
Really?
I don't think,
I mean, I like doing, that's my thing though. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you do this week, December?
This week
Oh yeah, sorry, it was Valentine's Day, and that just passed me by. My timeline was just filled with, oh my God, my boyfriend did this for me.
Why don't you share with the audience all the shenanigans you got?
I didn't get up to anything. Like Valentine's Day was just, I got pissed off by Superdrug. I went into a shop and like literally cussed them out. Okay. That's because I did a next day. I don't really have time. Funny enough, I don't really like spending my time. Is like, as I've gotten older, it's really, really important that I spend my time in things like that I really, really want to do, like, and enjoy myself. Like me going, like, there's certain aspects of shopping that I just don't enjoy. Yeah. Like, and I will just online shop and go and collect it in the shop or get it delivered to me, because that's a good, for me, I don't really need to be walking the streets doing all of like toiletry shopping and food shopping and all of that all at once and just coming home flustered. If I can do that online and collect it on my way home from work, I've saved myself so much time, right? Sure. So that's what I did. That's what I do all the time with my toiletries. Yeah. I literally buy them online and get them delivered, or I go and collect them from the shop on my way back from wherever I'm going. You know, like when I'm recording, I just go to the shop, pick up, done. Right. So that's what I did. So it was the next day because I needed half of the stuff in my basket for the weekend because I wanted to wash my hair basically. Yeah. So I get to Superdrugs and they're like, oh, your order's not arrived yet. And I was like, yeah, but I did it yesterday before the time that you said, why hasn't it arrived? And they were like, oh, we don't know. And I was like, okay, I really need these things urgently. Obviously, it's the same shop. Can you just not pick them from the shelf and give them to me and cancel the order when it comes in because I've already taken it? Oh, no, we can't do that. Why can't you do that? Because it's coming from our warehouse. And if you want to do that, you can cancel it and then buy it back and wait for your... Why am I spending already £100 in your shop just to wait for a refund? And I just didn't understand why they couldn't see how they had compromised my order and nobody had told me. They didn't send me an email. So what normally happens, right? And this is why I was just like, I should just stick with Boots because Boots, like, it's happened to me before in Boots where I've done a next day delivery and it's not come. And the people in Boots have just gone, you know what, we're just going to pick your order and then we're going to cancel the one that was supposed to come in store because it's our error. And we're really sorry about that. We didn't keep our promise to the next day delivery. That's what they did, right? But Superdrug didn't. And I know these are two different shops, but the way the woman spoke to me in Superdrugs, right? Yeah. You would have I was just, you know what? I'm one of those people who sometimes I can have a very, very short temper, and especially the way that you're dealing with my my query is I find really, really disgusting. That's when I'll flip. Like I'm not even going to try and hear you after that, right? So I've been polite. I've come in and said, okay, why is the delivery not here? And then she was like, did you get an email though? And I was like, well, I got an email for the confirmation. Sometimes I know what happens with this technology stuff is like, even though you don't get an email, it's still in the shop because it's the next day, right? And then I was like, no, well, I've only got the confirmation that I've ordered and it's been paid for. And then she was like, well, you have to wait until that email comes. And I was like, but why? Because it's a next day delivery. I ordered next day. And then she was like, yeah, well, okay, I'll go and call head office for you. So she toddled along, went to call head office. Head office wasn't answering because they had closed because it was 5:30 and they closed at 5 or whatever. So she came back and said, well, head office is closed now. There's not much I can do for you. You just have to wait. And I was like, no, there is something you can do for me because I'm in the shop that I purchased the things from and the items are on the shelf. Therefore, I don't understand why you can't on this occasion just understand my plight because I really need the goods in this, in the thing, like in my toiletries that I've ordered. I really need them. I don't have time over the weekend. If I had time, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have even come and collected it on Saturday. I wouldn't bother, you know? And then she was like, well, no, I can't help. And I was like, okay, I just need to, at this point, where's your manager? Then she toddled off and went and got her manager, right? So her manager then has the audacity to say to me, well, my assistant has called head office for you, has a favor. She didn't need to do that. I was like, listen, at this point, yeah, I wanted to punch her in her face because how are you telling me that you calling your head office is a favor for me? No, it's not a favor for me. That's what you're supposed to do. Do you not know customer service? You're not supposed to tell me, dude, even if it is a favor, as a customer, don't use those words in my... And I was just like, these words are very violent that you're using. Like, and at this point... Violent. Yes, it was violent. It was violent. And you can tell, right? I'm so passionate about this because it really pissed me off on my Friday because I spent an hour in their shop, right? For the girl to lie to me that head office is closed when I called miraculously someone, well, they didn't answer, but I then got somebody on their chat line and I was speaking to someone on their chat line for over a fucking hour. For her to first of all offer me 300 points, I was like, what the fuck is 300 points for your mistake? Yeah. And then I was like, I don't want your fucking points. I want my goods and I want a discount on my goods and I don't want fucking £300. 300 points, not £300. If it was £300, it would have been a different scenario. Well, anyway, the little manager girl, yeah, was like, yeah, she did you a favor. I was like, she did me a favor? Fuck this. This isn't a favor. This is what you're supposed to do. Is this not in your handbook? And I was just, in my head, I was just like, what kind of ratchet customer service is this? Yeah. And then I explained to her again, like, look, I understand it's not your fault. It's not my fault, but it's a fault that has happened in the head office. Now, we cannot contact head office, but I really need the goods that are in this, that are in this order. Please, can you just pick them off the shelf and then cancel the order, because it's the same thing. You're selling these products in store. I know we can't do that. What you have to do is you have to cancel the order online, and then we can then buy it in store. That's the way we can. Who is trying to spend another? Why am I trying to spend another £50 in your fucking store to wait for a fucking refund? I can't even trust that my stuff is going to come next day. So how do I know I'm going to get a refund? Right. I was so pissed off. Anyway, I stopped communicating with her because she didn't even apologize for the mishap. She just went straight into her, and I was just like, I just can't deal with people like this with bad customer service and whatever. So anyway, I spoke to the woman on the chat line. Yeah, she was trying to fob me off with 300 points, and then I was like, I don't want your 300 fucking points. I just need the goods in store. And I explained to her, why can't they do this? And she was like, we can't do that. You just have to wait until your order comes in when it comes in. Why are you telling me when it comes in when I order the next day and it's not here? At least have the courtesy to say to me, you know what? I'm really sorry, Mr. Sengo. I'm really sorry, Nastassja or Natasha, whatever your name is. Really sorry for that this has happened. I understand that you really need the goods this weekend because and this is our error. Why can't they just take responsibility and just be like, okay, here's your goods to save you because this is you at your inconvenience. Yeah, I toddled all the way from my house, yeah, to come up here to find out that the order's not even fucking here. Do you know how much of an inconvenience that is? And I'm spending another fucking hour in your store. 2 hours of my time wasted, yeah, that I'm not going to get back. I was so pissed off, Lucinda. Then she tried to offer me, the woman online tried to offer me 500 points. I was like, I don't want your fucking points. I told you that already. Yeah, I don't want your fucking 500 points.
Does that even work out to
exactly? So I then asked the woman at this little manager in Superdrug, what is 500 points worth in this shop? Then she was like, oh, £5. And I was like, I don't want your fucking £5.
So first she tried to give you £3.
Can you believe the insult? The insult, Superdrug, the insult. Yeah, the insult, £3. You're giving me £3 bus fare because I come out of my house. Fuck that. And then she was like, okay. And then she was like, okay. Can I offer you £10? Then she was like, I'll give you 1,000 points. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I was just like, that's £10. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to get anywhere with these people on Superdrug. Yeah, just take the fucking £10, Nastassja, and just go off going about your business. You've wasted like 2 hours of your time already in this shop, and you're not going to get back any more time. So I toddled off, and then the woman was like, bye. And I was just like, fuck off.
You swear it?
In my head. I didn't say bye to her. And so the ending of this story is that I've cancelled my order. Mm-hmm. that has now arrived in store, which arrived Saturday afternoon in store. Mm-hmm. I've cancelled it because they gave me the £10 and I refused to spend the £50 or whatever, the £40. It was like nearly £50 that I spent in there. So I just cancelled it, and I was just like, well, Nastassja, all the toiletries that you needed this weekend, obviously you cancel it, and then you just have to go in store and freaking buy it back. And I can't, for me, I can't do, I like, it made me basically not want to do online order. It's not like I'm never going to shop in Superdrug again, but for me, it's like I will only go into shop and buy stuff. I won't bother doing the online shit with them because their customer service really sucks. Like, not just from the store staff, but also into the online customer service, and maybe even into the customer service, who knows. But it's just kind of common sense. And this, I just didn't understand why that part of the common sense was not apparent to them. That, hold on, it's our fault. Let's take responsibility. Let's give this girl the order. Let her get out of her hair, and she will be happy because the way we dealt with her is going to be good, and she's going to be happy enough to shop in here with confidence. I ain't shopping Superdrug with confidence because all of them people, like customer service just went out the window. And I don't know whether it's just because it's a big corporation and like, oh, we get it, you know, you're just one person out of like the millions of people that we serve. But it's just so frustrating that in this day and age, like common sense within customer service does not happen. I mean, in other shops, it's happened. Like it's not the first time this has happened to me. This has happened with a lot of other stores. And what do? They do exactly what I said. They usually say, if we've got it in store, we'll give it to you and we'll cancel your online order when it comes in. Because you know why? They know it's an inconvenience and it's not an issue with them. It's just online people, head office, warehouse, things happen, innit? We can't control that, you know, postage and stuff happen. But I just don't understand why for Superdrug they weren't trying to be helpful at all.
You know, it kind of reminds me of a story that happened to me with this phone actually, with Car From Warehouse. I won't get into it's a long story, but basically the phone that I ordered is not the phone that they gave me. And when I tried to complain, it was almost like it's a cross between tough stroke, I need to cancel the phone and order a new contract. But if I cancel the phone and get a new contract, there's a possibility that the existing contract may not be there. And I was trying to tell them, look, it's not my fault that the phone's mixed up. Apparently, I got a really good deal that potentially maybe they should or should not have given me. So I was like, look, you've made an error in sending me the wrong phone, send me the right phone, but I just want to keep my contract. Back and forth, going to the shop. I have to go to the shop now. Go into the shop. And then even the shop, they can't help me. And why I say it's similar is that they have the phone. I was like, take this old phone back, the wrong one that you gave me. Just give me the new one. Sorry, can't do that. You know, it all boils down to, like, you know, the whole, I forgot what series it was, Computer Says No.
No.
Okay, cool. So that's not the name of the show, but it's one of the skits and some comedy thing. But that's what it is. It's Computer Says No. Sorry, so we can't do it. And
but the computer, this is the thing, right? Like, what pisses me off is a human being has programmed the computer, so it's a human fucking error anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? It's like,
but they want to blame the computer, but it's not the computer; it's the human error. The person who typed in the freaking details into the computer is the person who did it wrong.
What was your first job after 16?
I worked in Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I was there. I guess we can disclose this is how many years ago, right?
Yeah.
How many times in Sainsbury's, a customer asks for something, right? And you'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll go check for you. You walk in the back, chat to your friends.
No, I never was that person.
You never did that?
No. I walked in the back, checked for the product, talked to my friends and went and told them we didn't have it. I'm You know why? Yeah, because whenever a customer did that, I put myself in their shoes and said, this could be me. You know what I mean?
So look, I'm there with you, right? I think I checked more than a lot of my colleagues, right? But I'm not gonna say that I never walked in the back.
But I
just
know
walked straight back out.
I know people do that though. I know people in supermarkets because I get it, because there's some places where the warehouse is just a mess. And you don't know where to start. And you're just like, babes, what you're asking me to do is like go to the Sahara Desert and come back. Nobody ain't doing that for you, babes. See you later, bye.
So, you know, the thing is, right?
Yeah.
So a part of the reason why I did that way all those years back, right, is there was a situation where, for whatever reason, they sacked all the supervisors, right?
Yeah.
And then all the people that I guess knew the job really well, they wanted to give them titles super helpers, right?
Yeah.
Even me, they asked me to become a super helper.
I think I remember that era of Sainsbury's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You probably, but they didn't want to pay no one. Right?
Yeah, they gave you more work, but not more pay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and I remember that era, and I was like, I don't want to be a super helper.
Exactly. So I was like, hey, in my head, I always had this tagline: I'm not paid to think.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go out my way to do da da
I
da
like
da.
that. I'm not paid to think.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So this is my only issue, not issue, but I'm just bringing that up in what you said, right? Is that you get some businesses. Look, a boutique business will more likely have accommodated what you said. Even Boots, they've done well.
You know what? I'm not good. This is no slander. Well, I take it as you want. Like Superdrug's customer service is shite. Yeah, but I'm not trying to big up. I'm not being paid. This is not an ad for Boots. But all I'm saying is, whenever I've been into Boots, there's never been a moment when like that I felt like, oh, your customer service is really shit. Boots' customer service is possibly one of the best kind of, against, like, for me in high street shops, yeah. Boots and Marks and Spencer's have like the top tier customer service. For me personally, my experiences in those stores have always been pitch perfect.
You know what's funny? I can't remember now, outside of restaurants.
Yeah.
I can't remember like shops or retail that I go and experience great customer service, only because of I do so much shopping online.
Yeah.
I actually hate walking around not finding what I want. So I can't remember who stands out now.
I like Marks and Spencer's customer service, and because even if I'm walking around aimlessly, there's someone that's always going to come around and say, hey, do you need help? And then I'm like, fam, step away from me. Just because I'm walking around aimlessly don't mean I need help. But no. But these are some of the conversations going on in my head. I feel like, why are you attacking me? No. But whenever I've been in Boots, they've been really, really helpful. I understand what you're saying about that Sainsbury's thing about like going behind, because I know loads of my colleagues back in the day when we used to work in Sainsbury's, they used to do exactly the same. They just used to go to the back and stand there and go, yeah, Nastassja, what's up? And I'm just like, I'm good. And then we'll have a good chin work. And then at the end, I'll ask them, what were you doing? And they're like, oh, someone wanted something, but I can't be asked to check.
You know what? You know that, yeah. It's so cool.
But
you know,
let me tell you something I used to do when I go into stores and I'm looking for something. Yeah, some websites you can actually check the stock in the store. Yeah. So I would check the stock in the store. And if one person comes out to me and says it's not there, I show them and I'm just like, let me speak to your manager because there's 8 in stock.
Have you had that happen?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's not there. And then I've gone to the manager and I said to them, yeah, I asked that colleague there, that one, to go and check. It says you've got 8 in stock. And these times their supervisor's on the shop floor, yeah, and they'll huff and puff and they'll go out and they'll bring out a whole box and then they'll be like, sorry, ma'am, we probably didn't see it. And you know that person's got to get in trouble because it's just like, when a customer says there's something in stock, there's something in stock in it. Like, yo.
But you know, sometimes though as well, right? Yeah, some customers that want to bully the staff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because I've had some customers, you know, you can't cuss the customer on the shop floor. And you know, I'm not helping you. If anything, I'm going to become a preventative measure to get you what you want. You know, so, but you get them. But hey, I'm going to be the bad guy again.
Yeah, we've moved on. Yeah, we can move on from our styles. That's just what happened to me during this. I was honestly on Friday, I literally just wanted to. I came home. I was so upset. I literally just had a shower, ate my food, and I went to sleep. That's how pissed off I was. And then I woke up and I was like, why was I pissed off yesterday? And I was like, oh, Superdrug. Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, let's forget about Superdrug for now. We can put that one to bed. So, people, Juice and the Sauce is a show that chops up and serves you life topics narrated through the love of food and, most importantly, desserts. Charismatic random stories for a sweet entree, followed by a meaty main course of discussions, followed by recommended flavours from the continent to round up this foodie's delight of a podcast.
Yummy.
Indeed. So, to get into the mains for this week, I thought it'd be nice to talk about, since Valentine's was just the other day.
Yeah. What did you do for Valentine's? That's why Listenber's all up in my grill. What shenanigans did you do, Nastassja? What shenanigans? I'm just like, yo, am I just known for shenanigans? I did nothing.
Okay.
Valentine's Day don't mean much to me, you know. Well, it does. But if you're with someone, you want it to mean the world. But when you're not with someone, it's just like, it's another day in the calendar.
Yeah, I didn't get no secret admirer text, no secret admirer DMs. You know, Cupid didn't shoot me this year. So, yeah, I was just working my ass off. This restaurant, when I say it was busy.
You must have had characters in there. You must have had pure first one-time dates with a cheeky Nando's. You must have had like really young customers and really old customers and then the middle ground customers.
You know what? There was a lot of families.
Really?
Yeah, because I can imagine it's obviously, sorry, I can't disclose where, but like as you know, the type of restaurant that it is, what I can see is happen is like mum and dad want to go out.
Yeah, so they need to bring the little ones, and you're not taking them. Children are very wasteful people. And where it is like it's okay to be wasteful in there because mummy and daddy will eat it. You know what I mean? Because you could never take kids to a Michelin star restaurant. Why? Because they cry, or the food they're small things, and they just want chips.
Exactly. But when I say this place, the kitchen was just like order. The screen, like there's like different columns for our orders. Normally it's like 1, 2, maybe get to 3. The whole thing was just full. There's like 85.
Did you run out?
Nah. It wasn't. You know what? I wasn't thrown into the lion's den. I was taken off cooking duties and thrown into the cashier. Cashier is easy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just sorry for.
I can imagine though, because it's like doing a lot. You're just flipping.
100%, and it's just like go. But the cash, like, normally there's like one line, if there's even ever a line.
Yeah.
On this day, there were like 3 lines. I looked down at the phone. I think it was like 80 something missed calls. Like, it's just like.
For like takeaway orders and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What was the waiting time for a table?
45 minutes or something like that.
Fucking heck.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't, like, for me as a cake business, like, not many people order like my flamboyant cakes for Valentine's Day. And I suppose because they are quite flamboyant, and it's just kind of like, it's not, Valentine's isn't a season. Like Christmas is a season, so you can order one of my cakes and have it throughout the season. But Valentine's Day is pretty much for just that one day. I don't know. Next year I'll probably bring out like a small collection of like 4-inch cakes and stuff, but it's not really, for me, it's not the biggest money spinner, to be honest. Like, for me, I like to concentrate on like the weddings and the birthdays and the art events and stuff. That's kind of my forte.
Has anyone ever asked you to put a ring in a cake?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't so what did we do? We ended up doing he wanted it in the cake, and then I was like, no. What's going to happen is just going to get lost, and you're going to be like, you're going to end up like looking for it. Instead, what we did was we put, I think it was like we put a rose in the cake, and then inside the so we put the rose into the cake, and it was around the stem. So if you get when she took out the stem, she saw the ring.
She said yes.
Yeah, because I did their wedding cake. And it was on Extreme Cake Makers.
Amazing.
Extreme Cake Makers, yeah. I thought I said something different then. I was like, did I just say it right?
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, cool. So in the spirit of Valentine's, I'm going to introduce the mains.
Yeah.
So basically, the mains for today is how do I don't want you to reword this as well, just in your own words, in case what I say doesn't make sense. Is the venue where you take your date on Valentine's a reflection of yourself? Does that make sense?
So yeah, where you take your date on Valentine's, is that a reflection of your love or you or the person? I think it is.
Okay.
When December brought this topic to me, I laughed. I was just like, and then I thought, hold on, this is actually interesting, because where you take someone is, I think wherever you take someone, just not on Valentine's Day, when you're dating or courting someone, right? I think where you take them is a reflection of who you are.
Okay.
And who, I don't know, I want to say how much you want this person, or I don't think it's how much you want this person, but it's how much this person means to you. And I want to say, whether you're going to somewhere like McDonald's on a really cheap end, or going to somewhere like Hakkasan on the really expensive end, or somewhere in the middle, like a Five Guys, I don't know, is that a meat or Nando's, or
yes, that's middle of the road,
kind of ish. Or let's just say like a Pizza Express kind of, Nando's Pizza Expressy kind of thing. I think it really, I'm never one to, I'm never one to say your man took you to McDonald's, because that may have sentimental value to the both of you. Do you understand? Like, for example, this is an example, right? I used to joke around. I don't know if like maybe he'll be angry if I say this, but it's all in the nature of bants, right?
Okay.
Because I like a guy who me and him can have banter, and when I say banter, this is the kind of banter. So, like, this is stupid banter and like just really, really silly. So with my ex, I used to always joke with him that I'd take him out, like, for one birthday. I said to him I was going to take him to McDonald's. I said I was going to take him for a Happy Meal, and it was like, Happy Meal, and I was like, yeah, McD's, man, like $1.99, can't go wrong. But that was all in the name of bants. Yeah. But if I'm being honest, I think I don't think I ended up taking him to McDonald's for a Happy Meal, but I was going to take him for a Happy Meal.
Okay, cool.
But
yeah,
that is because it's funny and that has a sentimental value kind of thing. And that's the way our banter is. If he had done it to me, I would have actually found it hilarious. I wouldn't have taken it. Some people may have been like, oh, your man is cheap. But for me, it's actually hilarious, because that's the way we bants, because we can bants to say we could have gone to McDonald's, but at the same time, we can also go Nando's to the higher end, to Hakkasan. You know what I mean? So I think depending on the kind of relationship you have, and sometimes I think a lot of us, everybody wants to do the really bougie things, and sometimes are we doing the bougie things because we want to do it, or are you just saying that you want it for the gram or to show out? You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm one of those people that you can take me to Nando's and I'd be like the happiest girl in the world. But at the same time, we could go McDonald's and I'd still be the happiest girl in the world. But I think it's because of the type of banter that's within me. Like, you know what I mean?
Before I comment on that, like...
But if it's for a first date...
First date McDonald's?
No. See, this is the thing. First date, I think we always have to put our best foot forward. As in... Okay, I'm not going to lie to myself. First date... If we're not doing something, like, I wouldn't say first date as in if it's like we've met over Tinder or like over the internet kind of thing. I think I prefer to go for a coffee then, because I don't know if I could sit with you for a whole meal at Nando's, especially if I don't like you in person. But if it's somebody that I have been talking to and we've done like coffees and stuff, and we're going for our first official boyfriend and girlfriend date, I'd like to go somewhere special.
Okay, cool. So before it gets to the boyfriend and girlfriend now, and you're still getting to know each other, okay. Let's remove the coffees out of it. Yeah. Let's say it's the first date.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna exclude coffee just for the sake of argument right now, right? What kind of tier restaurant do you need to go to?
I'm a brunch girl, so I'd like to go to a nice cafe, like a nice little posh cafe. And when I say posh, I mean it doesn't have to be mad posh. It's kind of just a good place where it does decent food. Like I'm trying to think of something. Maybe like I have honestly, my mind's just gone blank. Like a Latana.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Okay, it's like it's basically an Australian cafe, but they do brunch and it's really, really good. And it's not mad expensive, but it's not mad cheap at the same time.
Is that an issue if it was cheap?
I don't think it's an issue if something is cheap, because especially if it's like the first date. Yes, I want you to put your best foot forward, but I'm not really looking at what you can spend. I'm actually looking at your mindset. And I know spending is a part of your mindset, but I want to really know if you have two brain cells that rub together and they rub together nicely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not saying Pret, but I'm saying a nice local cafe that does good food that we can both enjoy. And it's not kind of, I've had to roll out the red carpet for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're rolling out the red carpet in a very mutual way.
Mutual?
As in, you're not overdoing yourself. I suppose for me, okay, this is a weird thing. Most women may not feel this way, but if someone rolls out the red carpet like fully for me, like gives me all of the shebang, like takes me out to this like 5-star restaurant and does all of this for the first date, I can only see that it's going to go downhill from here. In my head, it's just like, this is
suspicious.
I get suspicious. I do. It raises a lot of eyebrows for me because, like, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. You're rolling this all out on a first date for me, but I'm only asking for. Now that you've shown me this, I'm asking for more elevation. You need to be flying me out to Paris for dinner and shit now because the only way is out.
Why? No,
because that's what you started on that tier, so you start as you mean to go on. There's no graduation from here, and sometimes like when. I don't know. I suppose a guy did that for me once and he rolled out this mad red carpet and I just got suspicious and my suspicions were right.
Fair enough.
It wasn't all legit. And so I kind of figured like, yo, this is a bit like slow down. Okay. We have, I think when we want to rush to graduate to that point, then there's always like, I think you raise the bar so high for yourself first time where you should just start off on a bar. Like I call it the mutual flex. Let's do something that's just mutual. There's no pressure, that he's feeling relaxed as well. And I always like to meet someone in their own element, like as in being relaxed. I don't want you to feel pressured that our first date, you must do all of this and you must roll out the Cirque du Soleil for me. Like I expect Cirque du Soleil, like, when we're rolling in it, like when we are official, that's when I expect the Cirque du Soleil and more, because we've been graduating to the Cirque du Soleil and more. You know, we've been graduating to the Russian circus. We've been graduating to freaking like Jedi status. Like that's when I expect all of that. But I just think in the back of my head, I may be very different to a lot of females in that sense.
Look, I think what you're saying is fair. You know what I mean? Like if somebody shows you something, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. What's next? And you're not necessarily expecting someone to drop levels. Do you know what I mean? Even at least maintain.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think you should present yourself at a level that you know that you are consistent, and I think that's a very good. Just thinking about it, it's like be consistent in what you offer. I think if you know that you can only do Cirque du Soleil level romance, like once a year, you shouldn't start off by that, because I know that I know that I'm expecting Cirque du Soleil. If you're doing this first time, that second, are you flying me out to Russia or something? Because that's where I'm looking for private jet status, and I know there are men who can do that. So there's no, I would say there's no fear of a man actually doing that and knowing he can keep the levels. But that's the key thing is, like, if you're going to start at that level, be consistent at that level.
You know, okay, cool. So I want to say something.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be controversial.
No, it's not controversial. Yeah. Just when you're talking about like being consistent and stuff. Like, so for me, you already know that, like, when I do the whole dating thing, I like to like start somewhere small, like calf.
You like to graduate, which is good.
But I could graduate same day. And what I mean by that is literally go from one venue to another venue, and etc. And I just kind of like those kind of dates.
Yeah.
Right? However, with that kind of date, like very meticulous, or a lot of planning goes into, like, you have to go from here to
because you plan down to the timings, like of
100%.
Of how long does it take us to get to, if we're going, you play like 4 bases in one day. And sometimes, and then you can reach the second base and go, actually, we can drop off here because that's the end of the date. You know what I mean? Which is great. Like, and I love that kind of theory that like you graduate somebody. So if a guy does that to me in the next thing, I know that if he dropped me off at like second base, it's not going to happen.
Basically. But the thing I want to say about that, right, is when you, and it'll be interesting to get your opinion on this, right? So like I've gone to like places to eat or get drinks and stuff, right? Service has been slick. Food is amazing. Yeah. Cocktails are banging, everything, right? And I've been like, oh, cool. This would be a sick venue to go on a date. Yeah. Right. So then I'll go on a date with someone to say this restaurant, this bar, whatever. And what will typically happen is like, have you been here before? The girl says no. And it's like, oh, what would you like to get? And then she'd be like, oh, I don't know. You order something. You choose for me, right? That is where like the problem of the wahala starts, right?
What? Because you've been there before?
No. Right? The wahala starts because of whatever I choose now. Yeah. Right? And this is what I believe. I don't know if people agree with this or not. Or again, it'll be interesting to get your opinion. If I choose a dish that is disgusting, right, or drinks that are disgusting, that's a reflection on me to the girl. If I take you to a venue where it doesn't look right, the service is bad, and I recommend some drinks, and basically, if I introduce you to
a place and it's not that good, and you feel like, oh my gosh, the date went wrong because this place I chose. But usually, you know what? For me, have I been on a date that the serve? I think I have, where you've been to somewhere before and then you bring someone and the service isn't tip top and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I brought you to this place and today they're just not on point. I think I've had one of those instances and and the person has said to me, I thought you said this place was nice. And I was just like, yeah, it is nice. I've been here a few times and they're just like slacking today. And you know what? The thing is, you can't control everything. And that's where I kind of say that if the person really, really likes you or you is really into you, you make bands out of it, you know. And as long as you're not terrible on the date and it's just the echoes around you that are terrible, I think it's always to salvage, you know what I mean? Because there were points that I know I've been on it, like that one time that it was just like really horrible in this restaurant. I was, you know, he actually suggested to cut the date and go somewhere else. And then we did, we ended up having a good night. I don't think, for me, I don't know, like, not that I don't know. Sometimes the place, if you've been there before, you do kind of be like, you are kind of like, why the heck did this person bring me here? And they said it was good and it's actually completely shit. So maybe that's the best thing. I say the best thing for first dates is go to somewhere where you've both never been before, because there's no one else to blame but the people in the restaurant. It's not you. You both chose the place. You know, you both ain't been there before. So how are you both meant to know? But if one of you is aware of the place more than the other person's going to look at you and say, oh, well, he said the food was good and I didn't really like the food. And I know sometimes, I know as a female, I can get like that. And I know I'm indecisive in it. So I usually look at what a guy's ordering and I'm like, I just have what you're having, because I'm scared that mine's going to come out shit. And guys are really, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's you guys just open the menu and just like, oh, just go for that one. It sounds good. Or that one because it's got like chicken leg. It should be good. And you do that. And I'm always there meticulously reading the menu, and I always go for the thing that doesn't look the nicest. And I look across the table and just like, oh, I want that.
You know what you just said, right? I can never take a date somewhere I've never been before.
Why?
No. If we've been dating, then cool. If
first time I'm talking about,
first time, never. I couldn't take someone. So I need to go. I need to do reconnaissance.
I think that's because, I don't know, maybe because you like to know. You like to know your surroundings, whereas I'm very kind of, I can jump in at the deep end and go, this place looks good. Why don't we go here?
So cool. I can do that for like second date, third date, fourth date. I get not cool, but the first date.
It's because you want to be aware of your surroundings and you want to know that you feel comfortable knowing that this place is good. She's gonna like it. But how do you know that the person that you're gonna take is gonna like it? Because they may just go there. You've suggested it, but they're just going there just because you suggested it, but they don't really like it.
All right, cool. So look, it's possible that you can take someone there and they don't like it, even though I'd like it.
Yeah,
that's possible. But I think that by going to a venue first, look, when you're speaking to someone, you might be like, "Oh, do you like Italian food? Do you like da da da?" You get a general idea of their kind of taste. Then you could be like, "Oh, you like Caribbean food? We should go check out this place. For example, like, let's go to Rudy's. Da da da.
Yeah,
been there before. Like the food. I know where I want to sit. Boom, boom, boom."
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because you like to be aware of your surroundings. And you feel comfortable in the surroundings because if you're comfortable with the service of the place, you know that you're going to be on your best. Do you get what I mean? Whereas if you go to somewhere where you don't know the service, you don't know what these people are like, you're not aware of the menu, you're going to be more in a state of anxiety because you want everything to go right. But if you go to somewhere that you know and have been to, you feel comfortable yourself that you are going to give the best performance because you don't need to worry about the small details like, why is this waiter not coming over? Why is this? Because this is not the service that you're used to. Exactly.
No, I'm like 80-90% agreeing with you.
Right? Exactly. And this is why I like to go to places where I've never been before, because you know why? Because it brings out all of our insecurities and we can be insecure together.
Nah, as a guy, I don't think you can like go first date and be insecure. Like I think
not be insecure, as in like I just be nervous together. That's the right word, not insecure. I mean, be nervous together. Like you've not tried this place. And so the conversations will be like, well, I haven't tried this place. Well, I haven't tried this place. And, you know, like you get to be comfortable together.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone like on a bus
to
the cinema with a guy, right? And then asks like, oh, where do you want to sit? And then he's been like, I don't know. Where do you want to sit? And you'd be like, I don't know, just pick somewhere. And he's like, you just choose anywhere.
This reminds me of an incident.
So you've been there, yeah?
No, me and my ex was on the bus one day.
Okay.
We got on the bus and I don't even know why I asked this question. I don't know. I must have been so frazzled or something else. I don't even know why I asked this question. But I did exactly what he said. I said to him, where do you want to sit? And he was just like, Nastassja, sit anywhere. And I was like, all right. And I was like, yeah, I'll sit anywhere. He didn't shout, but he was just perplexed and like, why are you making a big fuss about sitting upstairs and downstairs? Like I made some like little fuss about whether we should sit upstairs or downstairs, and he was like, I don't really care. And I was like, oh, yeah, why did I don't know.
But with that said, have you ever been in a situation? Oh, cool. So there, he gave an answer, and in being decisive, just choose, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there with a guy that's indecisive that can't give you an answer?
I did date one person very, very long. Like this was like when I finished uni.
Okay.
And he was more indecisive than me, and it annoyed me.
Cool. So let's hang on that for a second, right? So if you go to like, how do I put this? If you're both going to somewhere and you like on the first date, he doesn't know what going, you don't know what going, you're looking to him for answers, like what to choose, what to food, what to sit, and he can't really help you with that. That's why for me, I don't know what the word is. It replication? You know what, mirroring.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, that's what taught me that I shouldn't date someone who's just indecisive as me, innit? Like, that's why, obviously, we're not together for a reason. I mean, I'm indecisive and you're super indecisive. Fam, no, it's not going to work.
But that's another reason why to first date, at least, check out where you want to go.
But the thing is, like, for me, listen, but I hear what you're saying, yeah, but it makes no difference for me. I'm still gonna, like, for me, it's like, I would still prefer to go to a restaurant that we've both never been to, because for me, there's less accusation. There's no, oh, Nastassja took me to this really horrible restaurant, or, oh, he took me to this really horrible restaurant. Now I can't trust his restaurant choices. Do you get what I mean? So if your restaurant choice was bad on the first date, right? That means in my head, yeah, I can't trust your other restaurant choices. So you're going to suggest somewhere to me and I'm just going to be like, let me actually check this place out for myself. As in, look at the reviews and then see read what the worst reviews are. If it's like got like, say 3.9 or four stars, yeah, I'm going to check what the very worst ones are. And then because the good ones are going to always be good. So I want to know what the worst parts of this places are. That's going to be how I feel after our first date, that your restaurant choices are pretty much whack. And I have to always check. I have to investigate before I go out with you. That's going to be how I feel. But if we go to somewhere mutual where me and you don't know how it's going to be, we can put that down to, hey, we made a bad judgment call, but it was bants because this and this happened, and that's the end of the story. And then you can take me to somewhere where you know, and I'll feel safer. I know I just won this argument.
Nah.
Thank you.
Nah. You know what? It's because of like the whole going to somewhere where you both haven't been before, right? I just feel personally, right?
I get it. You feel like you don't have you don't know what's going to happen, so therefore that could lead to all of you. It could lead to you getting suffering from anxiety because you're not complete control of what's going to happen, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you can't trust the waiters and the waitresses to do things properly. You can't trust that the cocktails are going to taste good. You can't trust that the food is going to taste good. But what that does, it gives you it gives you something to feed off of. As in, the conversation widens, whether it's good or bad.
All right, cool. So I'm going to get deep for a second, right? There's
Let me get some water.
So there's a book, right?
Yeah.
Which is have you come across How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah, you know what? It got lost I was reading it. I bought a copy. I had a box of books. Yeah, and I'm dead certain that my mum threw them away.
Okay. This book is really, really powerful, right? And one of the things that it speaks about, like I'm going to paraphrase, is it kind of explains like how people get together when they have something to relate. Not necessarily just couples.
Yeah.
It could be like over like religion, color, you like the same football team. And it kind of like talks on like how these groups pull together, right? Now, what's interesting about that is that like if you guys have something in common, it just builds like a greater bond.
Yeah.
And that also, needs to like different religions. I'm just laughing because you're smiling, right? So what I feel about, look, I've been in a situation, right, where we've gone to a restaurant. It wasn't cool. The restaurant wasn't good, but we had, like you're saying, bants and, happily ever after. I've been there, right? However, the reason why I'm bringing up this book, right, is I think that there's brownie points to be won if look. If you have one date, wait, hold on. If you have one date, right, where you go to like a mutual place that you've never been to before, right, and then you go and experience, right, cool. I feel that if hypothetically, I took you to a restaurant, right, and it's your first time there, right, I'm able to pick out foods and drinks that I have an inkling that you would like, and you actually like that, and you have a good time there. I'm willing to say that if you have to judge me post those two dates, the first one's cool, but I just feel that I might have like, I don't know, a higher tier. Or you might, I just might win more brownie points. Yeah,
you may win more brownie points. Yeah, you possibly, right?
Why possibly?
You possibly. I don't work like that. Like I said, I'm a different type of girl. Like, you take me to a place and I really like it, yeah, that just puts it down in my diary that if we don't work out, I'm going to take somebody else. And I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it does. I mean, yeah, you technically win brownie points, and you technically you're like, oh my gosh, he took me to this really, really nice place and I really enjoyed it and he's been there before. But then I start thinking, but how many other people has he taken there? No joking, no joking, no joking. You do win brownie points that way. But at the same time, I don't think any of our theories are wrong, you know. And I really, for me, it boils down to what makes you feel comfortable. And for me, what makes me feel comfortable has like I said, when you brought up that topic, I started thinking that's actually really interesting, because where people have taken me is like a reflection of themselves, like really. And sometimes it's they try to take me to places where they think I would like, you know what I mean? And what I found that has worked better for me has always been when we go to somewhere neutral and we aren't familiar. We both aren't familiar with the surroundings, which then opens up conversation for whoever I'm with at that precise point. If they take me to a place where they do like and they do usually like, and then they think I'm going to like it, and that has happened, and I'm just like, I actually don't like it here. What I tend to see is a person getting upset that I don't like it, because they expected me. Their expectation was like, I'm taking to Nastassja to this really, really cool place, and I know she's gonna like it because I like it and everybody likes it, man. And I get there and I'm just like, no, this isn't my joint. You know, and then I see their face drop and they're just like, how can this not be your joint? And I was like, obviously that person had built up some mad expectation that I was going to like it. It's just like, dude, I just don't like it. We can, obviously I'm going to hang because it's a place that you like. I'm not one of those people who are going to be like, oh, let's go. Like, and you kind of see the dynamics start to change. So that's why I'm always like, it's great for me, of like, what's always worked for me is when we go to somewhere very neutral and we've discussed that, oh, let's try out this place. Let's forget what we like. Let's create a new chapter of ourselves as going to this place, and if it's great, it's great, and then if it's not great, we can move on to something else in the area that probably you've been to or I've been to that can guarantee us a good time.
So then are we like kind of agreeing that, with all of this said, then like if venues don't perform on the day, it can affect
I think it can a little. I think it doesn't. I think people take it to heart. I think it depends on the actual individual and the person that you're dating. Because I know when I went to this place and I didn't like it, the individual seemed to be so sad and down in the dumps for the whole night that I didn't like it. And it's like, it's okay for me to, and it was like trying to explain to someone that it's okay for me not to like the place. It's not that I don't like you. I just didn't enjoy the place. You know, the place is something that you like, and that's cool for you to like it, but I just didn't like it. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to go out with you anymore. It's just that I just didn't enjoy the place, but I made the most of it because I was with you. I ignored the fact that I didn't like the place. It's not like, oh, I'm making a scene and going, no, I don't like the place. It was like, no, I don't. It's not really my thing, but I'm cool because I'm here with you. And that's where I'm happy to be here with you, because it's something you enjoy.
Cool. So that's cool. See, the thing about that is just like second date plus. Yeah. That's why, because my whole thing is that, like, when you think of your loved one, your partner, whatever, like, in my head, you want to associate like positive experiences, right? So if you off just one date, go somewhere, service is bad, food is cold, is running late, da 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 da. When you speak about that to your friends or whatever, you might say, "Oh yeah, the guy looked good," and da 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 da. But you don't have any positives to reset all of that. Does that make sense?
Well, I think sometimes we read in. I agree with you, but I think we read in too deeply about what's going on around us, when what should matter is what's going on between the person in front of you. And that's one thing. That's why, obviously, I'm not with that person for a reason, because I found that, like, he was more concerned about everything else. Like, he was more it's great that you took my feelings into consideration, that I didn't like the place, but it wasn't like you were forcing me to sleep there. You know what I mean? It was cool because I don't expect, I think within me, I understand that I don't expect to like everywhere that you're going to suggest. Everywhere is going to be like, okay, I'm coming along. I'm going because you suggested it, but you can't force me to like it. You know what I mean? And that's why I say for first dates, it's great to go to somewhere mutual, because when I think it affects when you select somewhere and the other person doesn't like it, it starts to affect you and think, oh, did I make a bad choice? Oh, they're not going to like me. Da, 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 da. When it's actually okay for that person to say, it's not my thing, it's cool, but I'm more concerned about being here with you and having a conversation with you and spending time with you. Does that make sense? So sometimes the surroundings is just like, that's why I said to you, like, whether it's like a Happy Meal at McDonald's or something at Hakkasan, to be honest, when you take away the venue, it's really about the two people sitting across the table from each other. So that's my concern. Like, as much as the surroundings can, if you're having bad service and it kind of ruins it, and it's like, if you survive, if you do become a couple, it's one of those things that could be your thing of going to this restaurant every year because it was your first date and it was bad experience, but you're doing it because it's bants. And the conversation that you had over that outruled that. You know what, the service was horrible, the food was horrible, but spending time with that person, he made me forget all of those horrible things because it was just so dope. And in the end, we went to a fish and chip shop and got chips. And sometimes that's the end of a perfect night. And that's why I said, like, going to somewhere mutual helps all of that, because if it is mutual and none of you have been there, you guys are just sitting there and you're just having the experience together. And for future, oh, I'm not going to go to that restaurant because it's actually shite. Or I'll go there, but I'll probably go there at this time where the service is better and it's less crowded. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I'm just like, I'm probably a true romantic like that. It's never really the surroundings does say something about what we're doing and the couple and the person that's sitting in front of me, but take away all of those surroundings. I just want to know that you've got two brain cells to rub together, and that when they rub together they create so much electricity and so much spark, not like a drowning realm of what the fuck. So that's kind of like my bottom line.
I think we should put this out on Twitter and ask the people.
Yeah, I mean,
somewhere neutral, or somewhere where the guy knows.
Where the guy or the girl knows. Like, I think when I take someone to somewhere.
Wait, when you say where the girl knows, so what? Like, as in the girls taking the guy out?
I mean, suggesting somewhere. I mean, I've suggested places to guys. Like, I've said to them, like, oh, I want it. They've been like, oh, let's go here. And I've been like, no. Okay, we can go there, but let's try this place. Okay. But I also know that there's a little bit of an ego when maybe that was just that guy. He had a bit of an ego. Like, I suggested somewhere. It's like, no, I want to go here. And I'm like, okay. But whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I am definitely one of those people who like, I'm not saying that any guys out there take me to McDonald's. Nah, that's probably like that's like official shit. Like, that's me for bands. Like, let's go McD's for a joke, kind of thing. But my banter like be staying like on top level kind of nonsense like that. But yeah, it's never really. It is about the place, and I always like to go to somewhere that's beautiful and that's pretty. It's got really nice surroundings, but take away all of those surroundings. I want to know that the person sitting in front of me is beautiful and deep, and that we can have a good time, and we can joke around and forget where we are. That regardless whether it's like over burger and chips or over like sushi or medium rare steak, that we're having a good time. And that's my thing. Yes, the venue does add to it, and if the service is on point, it makes that much sweeter, makes the date that much sweeter. Yes. And yeah, there are times where I look at a guy and say, you're really going to bring me here, really? Really? But then again, sometimes you have to look past all of it, depending on whether you really, really like the person or not. There are times where I've looked past it and been like, let's just forget that this is where we are, but let's just enjoy the date,
I think it's
like I'll be honest. Sorry to cut you off. Like my perfect first date is like going for a walk on the riverside and eating ice cream. Yeah, I like to walk and talk. I know that sounds so cheesy. Like, I like to go out for meals, but like just
in London. So there's only 6 weeks of the year, if that, you can go on this date. There's only 6 weeks of the year, if that, you can go on this date.
Why?
Because you're gonna walk by the riverside in this weather.
Not in this weather, but in good weather. I don't mind, even when it's kind of chilly. It's just kind of nice to just walk aimlessly and just like take in the sights and stop off for a bite to eat here and there and kind of just enjoy the sights.
So I've had some really cool dates where they you go by the sights, there's lights, night, and all of that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But I think what I was gonna say though, I think it boils down to like rapport, right? And I think I'm just adding things that help you add rapport. Reason being, like, cool. Let's say first date goes well. Yeah, right? You go take her to a nice restaurant. And when I say nice restaurant, I don't mean that the bill has to cost like £100 or something like that.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Like, I think people, when they think nice restaurant, like they think it has to cost, like the bill must come in at £200-300 or £100. Like, there are really nice places where you can get really, really good food for like a plate for like £15-20, and it's so good, and it beats paying the £100-200 that you think. And remember, like a lot of establishments, you're paying for the name more than the actual food on your plate.
So I'll tell some.
And I think we both know that because we work within the food industry, so we kind of just like,
but I'll give
we have that kind of self-awareness. But I'm not saying that I don't like to go to these £100 places, but I do, because I love going for a tasting menu.
No, 100%. Look, if you like, Shoreditch is perfect for a date.
Because
stupid amount of stuff. And even if you been Dinorama?
No, I haven't yet. You know what? Like, it's one of the places where I'm just like, I don't understand why I haven't been yet.
So that is perfect. Literally, you can get like some food for like, I don't know, £6-7. But that's one.
But the vibe is really cool in there as well.
Vibe is cool.
Yeah.
Perfect for a date. Yeah. Even though I'm saying £7, you can get small plates. You can get 3, 4, 5 different things. Yeah. Got dumplings there. You got jerk there. There's some Indian dish there. I think there's some ice cream there.
Yeah.
And then you move on. There's like bowling around the corner, and there's like, but you could have a really cool, fun date, and you didn't break the bank. Yeah. But I just want to like say one thing about like rapport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that by going somewhere cool, I'm gonna use cool instead of nice, right? And everything goes to plan, right? It's easier on a second date to be more open-minded. Because if you go on a second date to somewhere, I don't know, you take her to some, I don't know, kebab. And then she's like, I don't like kebabs. It's easier than to do, more for me. And it's bants. And you just, do you know what I mean?
Nah, see, I wouldn't find that bants. I'd actually find that as a downgrade.
But for me, the reason why I say that is rapport. It depends like how much rapport you built up on the first date.
That's true.
So
yeah, I mean, I think this is one for the people. And like, the Simba's sticking to his guns. He obviously likes it. But I get that. But I'm not dismissing it, because I get that. Because like, when you take someone to somewhere where you feel comfortable and you know that the food is good, the cocktails are good, the service is good, it's a win for you all around. But my thing is like, if the person, it may be a win for you all around, but if the person come through and they say they don't like it, it's kind of just like they start to feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And it may put a downer on you to feel like, but I specifically chose this thing because I thought she'd like it. She gave me all of the signs. But that's why I say, like, when you go to somewhere mutual, there ain't no blaming. You two are just walking. You're like blind fishes going into the open. You're going into the open ocean, and you may see a shark and you may not.
The thing is, though, you know what, though? Another thing I think about as well, I think intent matters, right? And what I mean by that is that, like, I feel like women can really read in between the lines, right?
Yeah.
And when you're saying, let me take you here. Yeah, let's sit over there. Yeah, I want to get this, da-da-da-da-da. A woman can smell off the bat he's either thought this through or he's planned. Da, 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 da. And I feel that the reason why I say intent matters is that effort. If you feel this dude really made an effort, I think it goes in his favor.
Of course, like, but I'm not dismissing any of that, like, because it does matter. Like, you showing the intent, it's being thoughtful, saying, okay, he's chosen this table, he's brought me to this place. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, there is I do feel like there's a little voice at the back of my head that says it's more pressure on you if the person doesn't like it. Yeah, no. And but also, if you go to a place where you both don't know, you can ring ahead to the restaurant and say, look, I'm bringing this lady on a date. Can you make sure give me a good table? Da, 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 da. Can you make sure that you give me your best waiter or waitress to make sure that my date goes good? So you can ring ahead of restaurant, and loads of people do that. So it's a very, I don't know in this country, but I know in America, like, when you always know when someone's on a date because that waiter is doing the most. He's going by the books of the restaurant because he's doing the most.
So on that, I'll be as vague as possible, but like, I know mandem that drink the waiter, right? So basically give them something to look after them.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that so this is planning above my levels. Right?
Wow.
Like, so they're going somewhere real fancy smancy.
Yeah.
Right. They go in advance, drink the waiter, whatever, and then come back later. And then when they come back later, it's the waiter would be like, "Oh, Robert, welcome again.
Yeah,
very nice to see you."
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it can be done. So if you haven't been there before, you can drink your waiter or call in advance and speak to the manager and say, yo, I'm tipping you this much. Obviously, they're not, most of the time they're asking you for a good tip. So tip good, So, yeah, obviously me and Nastassja have different views on this.
I think we kind of, it's overlapping.
Yeah, there's overlaps in somewhere. But I mean, if I'm being honest, like, my true judgment is, like, I don't mind where we go as long as I enjoy the time with the person, takeaway. And I think that's only because of how my mindset used to be. He has to take me to somewhere really fancy schmancy. He has to do this and he has to do that. And it's like putting so much pressure on a man. He has to do all of this, but what are you doing? You're just there to eat. Open your mouth. And I think what I've learned through my dating experiences, and either whether I've gone to high-end places or just gone to like a mid-ground Pizza Express or even gone to a bar. Like, there's this one experience I went with this guy on a date, and it was a friend of a friend's as well. And I remember my friend texted me and said, how did it go? And I was like, it was actually awful. And it wasn't awful. It was because, you know what it was? It wasn't the place. What the guy did was, he was really, really busy on the day, and he had multiple things that he was doing during the day. And he wanted to meet up with me. He said, oh, let's go to a bar. So when someone says to me, let's go to a bar on a weekend. Yeah, I was expecting to go to a bar like around like 6, 7 in the evening. And so he said he wanted to go to the bar at like around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Was it around 2? Yeah, like 2, 3 in the afternoon. And I was like, that actually compromises my day, because I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. And then I thought, okay, that's cool, that's fine actually, because if we're gonna go to the bar, we may end up like doing something else in the evening. Then and then when I got to the bar, the bar was empty. Obviously, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was in the city as well. And then he said to me, oh yeah, so I can only be here for an hour and a half max. So from the time that you walked in, I know you were 10 minutes late. I looked at him and I thought to myself, fam, you brought me out of my house for an hour and a fucking half. Like, you know what? I was so pissed off. Like, fam, we could have had a telephone fucking conversation. And on that day, I have to say that the only thing that made that date a little bit better was the waiter.
Why? What's the waiter
Because the waiter was just, there was only us two in the bar, and they were just like prepping, like they opened from about like 12, but he was just like, oh, obviously they like during the day they have like a few people drop in, drop out like us, but he was just so charismatic, and he was just giving jokes, and he did we ordered a couple of cocktails, and he was doing some bar trick cocktail. He was doing his cocktail thing, tricks and stuff like that. So that made it kind of thing. And he gave us really good personal service. And that was the only great thing about that day. And I acted very like, I know he probably said to his, like, our mutual friend that I was a bit rude. And I was just like, would you not be rude for someone to bring you out of their house, bring you out of your house, get dressed up for an hour and a half? Like, fam, and then you start telling me that you've got to go and do this and got to do that, and you and that was how your day was. And I said to him, so why didn't you reschedule for another day? Oh, because I didn't want to like cancel on, because we had rescheduled probably about 2 times before, and I was like, I would have taken a reschedule over bringing me out of my house for an hour and a half.
You know what though? Sometimes it's a good idea to go into a date with an escape route. Because it could have been a situation that you go in, you have the date, and then it's like, oh, this is fun, and then we just continue, right?
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a lot. This is like 18, 20, if not younger. No, probably about then. Like when you have to text your guy and be like, oh, there's some beef. And your guy calls you, oh, there's some beef, I gotta go, and then you gotta leave the date. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff you used to do back in the day. But
obviously we never went on a date again.
Oh, first and last year. You know what I was gonna say? I was actually just searching for it. I was I think half an hour, if not more, late to a date, maybe 40 minutes. I can't remember. But what saved me, it's called the Bar with No Name. It's in Angel.
Yeah.
I never been there before, but I Googled, the power of Google. Yeah. I looked around. This bar is sick, right?
Yeah.
This bar, right?
What, have you been there before?
Nah.
Okay.
I hadn't been there before, but I Googled, I did my research and stuff. Now, this bar is like, it's tiny. When I say it's tiny, like if you can see, if you're watching, like we're in a podcast booth, it's probably twice the size of this room, right?
Really?
It's that tiny, right? But you go in there, right? It's super cozy. Yeah. The cocktails are sick.
Yeah.
Right? They're making some special stuff I ain't even seen nowhere before.
Hold on, where is it?
Angel.
Okay, cool.
They got a piano in the corner. Dude playing the piano. Super intimate. Like, I highly recommend it. Right? Bar with No Name. But it saved me. And what I mean by that, it just helped offset like the negative, the bad mood. Oh, you're late, and then you just vibe from there. So I don't know. Oh, before I forget as well, you mentioned the film earlier. I found it. It was called The Departed. 100% recommend.
The Departed.
Yes, if you have not, I'm not even going to tell you what it's about.
Hold on, is that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, have you seen it?
It's one of my mum's favorite films, actually.
Oh,
I haven't watched it. I've watched it, but I don't remember the storyline. But I know that Leonardo DiCaprio was fucking amazing in it. Is it Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro?
It's okay.
Or it's not Al Pacino.
I'll tell you the cast. Yeah, so DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Robert De Niro's not in it, is it?
I don't think so.
No, I remember. Yeah.
There's a few celebs in there though.
Yeah.
You like conspiracy and me, I don't like police drama at all, right? But this film,
I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again this evening, maybe when I get home. Yeah, I remember, like, it's one of my mum's favorite films because I remember she went to the cinema. My mum hardly goes to the cinema, and when she does, it has to be a film that she absolutely loves. And I remember she went to the cinema to watch The Departed, and she spoke about it like she couldn't wait. I think she even bought it on DVD. That's how much she loved the film. Yeah, my mom's a big reader. Like her favorite, she likes a lot of crime, police dramas because her favorite author is John Grisham.
I don't know John.
You would know a John Grisham.
Okay.
You would know a John Grisham film. He wrote a lot of A Time to Kill.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, and it's got Matthew McConaughey, I think, is the lead role. He does a lot of like lawyer, because he used to be a lawyer. So he does a lot of like, his books are based on like around law, drama, cop fiction and all of that. So there's another book of his that went into a movie as well. I can't remember. But if you look up John Grisham, you'll see like all of his books and the films that have turned into, all the books that have turned into films as well.
Cool. I will look him up.
Yeah.
So, I guess, do you have any parting words for the people or a takeaway?
What's your takeaway? I mean, my takeaway is like, be mutual, be loved. Which is, I just think that is just like, I don't even know if that is a takeaway. I think if I have a takeaway for today is, your surroundings may count for something, but be present for the person in front of you. Before you, when you're on a date or just in life. I don't want to say this just has a relation. I don't give relationship advice. I'm tired of people asking me about relationship advice. My relationship advice is this: just, are you happy yourself? If you're not happy, find your happiness and let the other person go. No, I'm joking. My thing is like, surroundings count. They amplify. That's the word. Your surroundings will amplify what you already have with the person that you're on the date, or the person who you're talking to, or the person who you potentially want to be your husband. So the venue will amplify that, but it's up to you to be present to turn up the volume for it to be amplified.
Cool. So in summary, as people have heard, like we got a lot overlap.
Yeah.
Right. So I definitely feel that the venue will, yes, amplify. I agree. So like, if you are a wet flannel, it's only gonna
be a wet. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Gonna soak it down.
Do you know? So like, yeah. So you. I don't even know what yours is. You just have to be cool. Like, you have to find some vibe, or something has to
be
work.
the best. Present the best you.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. And I might even say something controversial. I don't know. It's controversial. Go on multiple dates at the same place.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because it's trustworthy, isn't it? It's trustworthy and you feel comfortable in it. And if being the best you is being that prepared and that meticulous to wherever you want to take your lady or your guy or your guy's guy or whatever preference that you like, is that, yeah, whoever you love, just do what you need to do. If it's going to do multiple dates at the same venue, like, even put a tab on that shit. Get a tab there, call them out and say, yo, I'm gonna be coming here with 5 different people. Here's my tab. I'm not sure if you should go that far.
So my last 2 cents though is like, I just had to search for what the phrase was. What I'm gonna say is, failure to prepare is preparation to fail.
I like that one.
So yeah, I didn't write it. It's not mine, but yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Hi guys. So flavor of the continent this week comes from Dark Sugars. So what is Dark Sugars? Dark Sugars is a chocolate company which is based in Brick Lane, and they sell Ghanaian chocolate. They're very well known for not just their chocolate, but their hot chocolate, which comes in different flavors. Today I am trying Irish cream with oat milk and a hint of cinnamon and Lasimba.
I have a hazelnut and praline hot chocolate.
I have to say, we've been sipping on this for a while, and it is absolutely delicious. Like, I'm not the biggest hot chocolate fan. That's only because, like, hot chocolates that I've tasted in the past. They're quite grainy and they're quite bitter, but this is absolutely delicious. It also comes topped with like shards of milk and white and dark chocolate, which is honestly, it's phenomenal. It's like the best chocolate I've ever tried. I don't know, like that is my verdict on the hot chocolate. It's phenomenal. So I'm not gonna hesitate to tell you that I've even giving it 11 out of 10, if that's even possible. But it's a 10 out of 10 for me for the hot chocolate.
This hot chocolate is amazing. I can taste the hazelnut. I can taste the praline. The shaving of like all the chocolate on top is like great theater to like just watch it or like melt into the middle. It's like actually a rush to grab your camera before everything like melts inside.
Basically.
It's really tasty. You want to try this one?
You want to try mine?
Yeah, sure. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. We both had a really good reaction to each other's. That was...
No, I'm going to get that flavour next.
That's funny, I feel the same about yours.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's really smooth and silky and...
I don't know. I also, because I have oat milk tends to be a great imitation of normal milk. So
Okay.
it's thicker and it's smoother. But that hazelnut with oat milk, yeah, that's my next bite. Oh my gosh, my face is so shut. I couldn't even be asked to bring out my makeup brush. Like sometimes it's just not about that. It's about the chocolate right now, right? We also purchased some chocolate because you can buy chocolates in store, and they have amazing flavors for chocolates in store. I remember the ones I bought, and they're sold by the weight. So you can get like all different types. You can get mango covered ones, you can get stemmed ginger ones, you can get cherry. I have bought a selection. So, oh, it's okay. You can go.
No, go ahead.
All right, so my selection is, I've got an Irish cream, a hazelnut praline. Praline?
Is it praline or praline?
Praline. Sorry. Hazelnut praline. I'm tired. Hazelnut praline. I have honeycomb. Don't know if you can see that. That's a chocolate cup. I have the white pearl was, I can't remember what it was, but it was an interesting one. A hazelnut crunch and a pink champagne. They do have pink champagne. And a red velvet one as well. So those are the selection that I've chosen. I'm gonna eat the white one to tell you what it is, because I'm like, it's just evaded my memory. It's just like gone.
So while Nastassja is rummaging through her chocolate bag, I'll tell you what I got. I need to look at my phone because my memory isn't that good. I've got some liquid sea salted caramel, which is this stuff. I also have some coconut rum pipettes. I have hazelnut crunch, cinnamon cider, and hazelnut and praline, which would be real interesting to try. So what flavor do you think you had?
It's just white chocolate.
It's just white chocolate, okay.
I can't tell you what it is. I actually just think it's white chocolate.
Let's
But
try.
it's really, really good.
Let's try these liquid sea salted caramels.
Oh, I didn't pick one. Oh, okay, you picked one up. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought about you. I thought about you. Here you go, ladies first.
I swear, like all I think about, I mean, I do spend my majority of the time thinking about food. I'm not gonna lie.
When we got in and we were looking around, first thing Nastassja said to me was, "Hey, let me get you a bag." You know.
Yeah, he was looking at me to pick. Like, the Simba was watching. Like, he was waiting for me to pick. I'm not gonna lie. This is not a sharing situation, is it? Well, it is. Well, it is and it isn't. Well, you can have one. He's just making me feel bad now.
No, it's all good. You share a lot with me anyway, so it's all good.
And then you take a hit of the.
What do you think?
I really like that. You know what I like? I'm quite I quite like bitter, like the bitterness of the cocoa, then entering with the sweet caramel on the inside, and then taking a sip of the hot chocolate. That all flushed down really well. I love salted caramel. I usually get anything with salted caramel, it has my name on it. But it's so nice to have the Irish cream hot chocolate with the salted caramel. It all makes sense.
So I'm in mixed opinion. I did and I didn't like it.
Oh.
The thing is, I start with what I didn't like about it. I don't know, the flavour, maybe it could have been a touch sweeter for me.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because it is quite bitter. If you don't like dark chocolate, that wasn't for you.
But on the flip side, which I really loved, I want to exaggerate, really loved, because I started with not liking it. It tastes like real chocolate. It tastes like real, authentic, like, it didn't taste like it's mixed with nothing. It didn't taste like it's watered down. This is
very
real
raw cocoa.
Yeah. It's
raw
not
cocoa.
Overpowering or anything like that. Like, it's just real chocolate.
You know, for me, real cocoa is it's that real. Not that the chocolates that you buy in store, they're mixed with a lot of sugars, a lot of milk. But with the nice thing about real cocoa, even after you have the bitterness, but then the natural sweetness comes in afterwards, and that's what tells you that it's real cocoa. And there's no mad aftertaste as well. It's very kind of smooth, very, very smooth.
100%.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty much done with tasting chocolates. Not because I don't want to taste any more chocolates, it's because I just bought a whole hot chocolate, and that's a lot of chocolate content for me. I'm chocolate enough, but these flavors are going home with me, and you already know what I've given it out of 10, which is an 11. Well, 10 out of 10 for me, because I've enjoyed the experience.
Oh, on the hot chocolate side, like 10.
Yeah.
10. The chocolates are so it's. I don't really want to judge the last one because of like I feel like I liked it and I didn't like it, but I'm gonna try some of these chocolates. I'm gonna keep.
All right,
going,
then you keep going, because we've got similar flavors. So Lucinda's gonna tell you.
All right, cool. So next up, I got the cinnamon cider.
Lucinda doesn't like it. I can tell by his face. No,
you know what it is?
No, he's got the interesting face on.
It's just like the last one. What I mean by that, there's a lot going on in it. But then again, yeah, I think maybe for me it could have been a bit more sweeter. But
okay, the thing about real cocoa, it's not naturally sweet. Cocoa is actually very bitter. I went to a chocolate factory in Belgium, right? And let me tell you, I came out there with a headache because it was so, like, I wouldn't say it stunk. Was it smelly? You know what it is? It's got a very, very intense smell. And if you're not ready for it, it literally hits you in the back of your head and it's just like a buzz. So cocoa is not naturally sweet. It's made sweet by adding artificial sugars in it and then adding extra milk in it, which basically waters down the content of the actual cocoa. But this is the thing, if you eat the actual plant, it's bitter at first, but then it naturally comes sweet. So that's what you're tasting. You're actually tasting the rawness of it's the plant, and then the natural sweetness comes in. Because if you have the actual cocoa plant, it's bitter first when you first put it in your mouth, and then it naturally becomes sweet. So that's why I personally gave it a 10 out of 10, because it is, for me, real chocolate. And that's the 100%. Way real chocolate is supposed to taste.
It's definitely real chocolate.
It's not dairy milk out.
Do you want to half these chocolates with me?
No.
You sure?
I'm one of those people who not that my stomach is empty, but I've not eaten that much today for me to chomp down that many chocolates. These are kind of like, for me, when I really, really love something, you can tell because I won't eat it all at the same time. I want to take it home and have one a day. This is kind of like me having one chocolate a day because it's enough. And that's what I like about it. It's not that kind of chocolate. It's moreish, but moreish to know that it's in, like if I have one chocolate, I'm so satisfied. I think it's delicious. These are perfect, for me, these are perfect for after dinner. So if you're having that really, like having a dinner party at home, or you are, I don't know, inviting your man's round. I don't know if your man likes chocolate, or you're just having a really good dinner with friends. These are perfect to buy like one each after dinner. After your dessert, give them one chocolate each with a nice little glass of wine to complement. Perfect.
That hazelnut crunch, that's banging.
Oh, is it?
It tastes like a Kinder Surprise. No. What's the other one? Bueno.
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
Level 10.
Okay.
Like it's just there. That was sick. Now I'm gonna try this.
He's got hazelnut praline.
Yes.
By the time he actually swiped to find what the name was.
This one I like, but again, it's that. Okay, I don't want to say the flavor has to grow in you.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it does.
Yeah.
But it's nice. Like I still would 100% recommend it. It's actually reminds me a lot of. I know this is hazelnut praline, the hot chocolate, but it reminds me of this a lot.
Yeah.
Like the flavor is very, very, very similar. And now what I have, test your memory.
Irish cream pipette.
Close. Very close. Well, coconut rum, pipette.
Oh, it's a coconut one. Oh, because it looks like mine, that's why.
So what, am I meant to just squirt this thing on top?
Yeah, you're supposed to squirt it inside the chocolate.
Oh, inside, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You couldn't have asked for anything better.
So for our listeners, I tried to squirt the rum inside the chocolate. It squirted all over my beard.
It's all over his beard now.
All right, cool.
I think is there no more left in the pipette?
Yeah, there is.
Just squirt it in your mouth then.
That sounds so wrong.
I know, sorry, but I was about to say put it in your mouth, but I think that sounded
That's even worse.
You know?
I just squeeze a bit on the top.
He'll squeeze a little bit on the top.
All right, cool. Bottoms up.
We're good. That's your favorite one so far, right?
Between this and the crunch,
Yeah.
definitely between these two.
Okay.
But these aren't. Like I'm eating too much. I think I'm eating it obviously because I want to give you guys.
He wants to give you the. One of us had to, and it was the Simba.
But literally, you can have literally 2 or 3. If
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like, you don't need, like, honestly, you don't need that much. I mean, like I said, I tasted, well, I had 2 and I was pretty much done. And I just want to show you, like, the bottom of the cup. That's how you know it's real chocolate. Because, oh, I thought I was spilling it. There is just literally just chocolate. It's just chocolate at the bottom, which, you know, if I had the energy, I would take it home. Not that. And just scoop it up and have it like it. It's even really nice cold. And that's the beauty of like this hot chocolate. Usually when hot chocolate gets cold or room temperature, I'm just like, no, we're done here. But this, it's just like having it's like having chocolate ganache. That's the texture. This bottom part is like chocolate ganache, and chocolate ganache is like a chocolate cream, basically.
I also recommend this place for dates as well. No, 100%. It's a good place to come, grab a bag of chocolate, go on your merry way. So yeah, thank you, I guess, for watching.
Thank you for watching Juice and the Sauce, tuning in. And if you're listening, please come down to Dark Sugars. Great place to come and get chocolate from. If you're in, they're located on Brick Lane. They've got 2 stores. They've got their main store, which also does ice cream. But it's a bit too cold for us to be tasting the ice cream, but I can imagine that ice cream is just as good. And they've got a smaller store as well at the top of Brick Lane. We highly recommend it. I think we've both given it like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10.
Dark Sugars is a place to be.
So, as always, I want to thank everybody for listening to another episode of Juice and Sauce. As you know, you can find us on all the social channels. Please check us over on our Twitter page, where we're going to be asking you whether or not you... what's the question again? Yeah, whether like cool, like on a date, if you want to go to somewhere you've been before, or somewhere where you've like both of you have never ever been.
Yeah. I actually just want to end this episode.
Sure.
I literally had it in my mind before we started recording, but it literally just, we started talking and it just went out of my mind. R.I.P. to Caroline Flack. She was the host of Love Island, and she was a presenter as well. And she was found in her flat on Saturday, 15th of February, and she committed suicide. And if you didn't know, just a little bit of background, Caroline was going to trial for domestic abuse on her partner, and as well as that, she had to leave. Well, she left Love Island and she was receiving a lot of online abuse. And as much as we have this platform, I've experienced online abuse, like when I was on the TV show, and people will troll you for doing the things that you actually love, which is the saddest part. That Candice Braithwaite on her story said this best. She was like, yes, we can blame the media, we can blame the press, the big broadsheets, but we, with our little devices, and we with our phones and iPads and access to the internet and all these social media platforms, we are the press. We are. When are we going to start taking responsibility? When are we going to look in the mirror and go, you know what? That comment wasn't nice. That's not the kind of energy that I should be exerting to someone. And I always say this to myself, and I say this to my siblings, and I say this to my friends. Why is it that when somebody dies, that's when we all wake up? Why can't we just recognize that our behavior online is disgusting? Because some of the things that, you know, celebrities or even people of public figures go through, and you read some of the comments that people write, are you actually a human being that's actually writing that? Would you, like, literally? And I say this to everyone. I say this a lot to my siblings, that everybody has a tolerance bar. Some people have a huge tolerance bar and some people have a low tolerance bar. It's that thing of how long is a piece of string? We don't know. And she hit her tolerance bar from all the bullying and all of the harassments and all of the headlines that were written about her. And for her, the last thing was, I'm going to take my life because I can't cope anymore. This is not what she just said, okay, I'm going to take my life. And that's the saddest part. And we all need to just, I always say, I wish it shouldn't be in death that we implement these changes. It's why implement them now when we're present. People take responsibility, and it's like that thing as well where I always feel like we can never have a good thing because there's always we're given a good thing of like the internet and connecting to people, but then the backlash is people are just horrible. They'll make up troll pages just to troll someone, to say. And it's like the other thing, it's all of these incidents that happen. There was even a woman who has 4 children. I think her social platform was Mother of Daughters. She literally made up a username and was trolling other mothers to the point where she was sending sending even the clients of people's clients who people are working with, all of this information on people just because, I don't know. I can't even explain why you would do something like that. But it's that kind of behavior that is very, very worrying. And she's the third person from Love Island to take their life. How many times are we going to see this? And we're not just saying there's been plenty of people. A YouTube star did that, I think, was it earlier last year? He took his life from all of the trolling and all of this. And it's just so sad that people, it's after when somebody's taken their life that everybody wants to start pointing fingers, and especially the press. And apparently now press are deleting articles that they've written about her, most of them which were just untrue. And I just want to say, like, to her friends and family, just I hope they're covered in a blanket of love, and you know, in this difficult time, that my thoughts and prayers are with her.
Rest in peace. You've said like everything that I could say. Not familiar with Love Island, but you know, there's been a lot of people passing away. My next door neighbor actually died last week. My dad's good friend died last week. So yeah, sorry to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's so hard. Obviously, I didn't know Caroline personally, but when you see these things happening and you see the comments and people are like, it's just for bands, it's like not everyday banter, because you don't know what that person is going through mentally. And I say that all the time, like, not everyday banter. You don't know what that person is going through. You don't know the daily traumas that they're going through. And for you to make one comment that you feel, oh, it's only what everybody else is saying, it's not about what everybody else is saying. Like, one thing I do feel like the world has lost a lot of empathy. It's like when you're behind this screen, there is no empathy. There is no empathy. That's just like, I'm going to be a keyboard warrior and say what I want. And it's like, yes, there's a point where you say, yes, there's expression, there's freedom of expression, but not freedom of expression to put someone down to the point where they don't even want to be alive anymore.
Well, sorry, I don't even know what to.
I know, and I don't want to end it on a bad note, but out of this is just, let's just learn to have that empathy and learn to love and just be kind, because life is very, very short. Like, and it puts, you know, someone like Caroline, you know, and especially going through all of that trolling, it puts things in perspective. It's like, we need to have tighter reins for online, because it's just wild. And I say all the time, like, Twitter is the wild, wild west. Like, some of the comments I see online, wild, wild west. And I don't know how somebody can write that and then go to sleep and wake up. And the fact that someone can have so many different accounts, like burner accounts, just to comment, like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Twitter's
and that's why I say, like, I can't really be on Twitter, because I know I'm very weak-hearted like that. And after my experience of being trolled, like, to the point where, you know, I had to actually change my surname on Facebook. And people always say it's very difficult to find me on Facebook because I don't use my surname on Facebook. It's because people started finding my Facebook and sending me the most horrid message, to the point where my brother started going online and going back and forth, and I was just like, I can't take it. I can't. And as much as I've got banter in me, I have a very low tolerance for all of that. So that's why I don't even, like, even with the podcast, I said to Twitter, I remember when I said before, like, if we're going to have a Twitter, you're going to have to deal with it, because I can't. It's too much of the wild, wild west for me. And I have my tolerance bar, especially from my experience, was very, very low.
So yeah, I'm managing the Twitter people, which is Juice Sauce Pod. But yeah, look, if you can, look, I'm saying this, but
it's just be nice. It doesn't cost anything, and that's the saddest part. Is like for us to be nice to each other. It's just it doesn't cost. And if you don't, I grew up with the saying: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
I'm gonna say something, and it might be seen negative, might seem positive. I don't know. I'm just literally just gonna say it. You know, sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know, I think that while I understand what you're saying, there's a lot of like some of these people are teenagers, some of those people in school. Like when I was in school, I didn't say some very nice things to classmates, but it was at that point in time in my life with other people around me, it was all banter. Nobody was hurt, but I can see that like I didn't grow up in the Twitter era in school, but I can see how like some of that can just escalate, get out of hand.
It's 2 million people saying that under a picture, and it's not nice. And I even in school, like I got bullied in school, and it was not nice, And I know people say they always want to have the notion bullying happens, but no. And people say there's a saying that hurt people just go on to hurt more people. But I just want to say, especially when it's not just people online and then there's the media, there's a lot of factors of the media also doing it. It's horrible. We've seen it like with Meghan Markle. It's horrible. Like it's not just one. It's not. It starts off at the media and then it starts off with everybody in your comment section. It's just, and these people know nothing of your life, but have the most to say about your life. And that's always the biggest joy. It's just like you've never been in the day of life of this person, but you have the most to say. Crazy. And that's why I just look at it and I just think it's all mad. It's all mad. I mean, even me, I post up pictures of cakes and I sometimes get a little odd mad comment and I'm just like, babes, it's a cake. Like, honestly. But like I said, like for me, it's a sad situation.
Yeah, so all I want to say to the audience really is look, it's just one man's point of view. You don't have to listen to me, but just it doesn't cost anything to be nice. That's it.
Yeah. So on that note, guys, I'm signing out now. And Simba's signing out now. So guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode of Juice in the Sauce, and we'll be back next week with loads of bants and bellyful conversations along with our flavour of the continent.
See you guys next time.
Bye.